Hi everybody, how is the sound? Can you hear me okay? How is the sound? Good.
Are you in a conference? I'm sorry.
Okay. Got 18 people here. Is the sound still good? I'm recording this on something extra. I couldn't do my seminar last night because my cable modem died, so I'm going to record this one and post it for the other guys. Better than usual. That's probably because I'm holding the mic close to me. We've got 18 people here. Let's give it another 30 seconds or so. Well, I don't know what to tell you, Emily. Good luck. It'll be recorded, of course, so. All right. I've got 19 people here, so including me. So let's go ahead and get going here tonight. All right. What we want to talk about tonight is some advice on internet marketing and using social media and that kind of stuff. And what I've done is I've picked some resource material out from a number of places to talk about, one of which is Entrepreneur Magazine, and then their site, entrepreneur.com. And one of them, the interesting articles, was 6 online marketing strategies that every entrepreneur, business owner should use. All right. Now, before we talk about them, let's define what we mean by what you need. First of all, they're expected. People expect serious businesses to be online in the form of a website, probably Facebook, Twitter, maybe YouTube. I mean, you got to be out there. It's got to be accessible, okay? And there may be a little bit of a learning curve, but the things we talk about are relatively easy to do. The strategies are affordable. You don't have to spend a whole lot of money on them. And one of the things I want to mention is people have mentioned, yeah, exactly right, Jeffrey. If you can't be found, you're done for. And found means you're on the on the web. And as I started to say, people have mentioned large numbers of dollars for their website. I would encourage you to look at things like Wix.com, Squarespace, some of those things. They have really good templates and drag and drop things for very professional websites. They're actually types of websites tailored for businesses and so forth, and you can at least get started. Yeah, Yahoo Business, there's a bunch of them out there. Yep, Yahoo Business has one. You don't have to be a programmer to use it. All of these strategies are valuable, okay? And they're time sensitive. You've got to put some time into them. So that may mean having somebody, online posting content and stuff on Facebook or whatever. But the more you put into it, the more you're going to get out of it. All right. One of them is personal branding. If you're in a local business, it almost doesn't matter what it is. You ought to become part of the brand. All right, and particularly if it's a kind of a creative. Hold on a minute, Karen. I'll get to that. If it's a creative kind of thing, maybe a upmarket bakery, you want to be personality. Karen wants to know, is there a relationship to the perception of credibility of a business? Well, yeah, if people don't perceive you as credible, and authoritative, your marketing is going to be tough. And a part of that is a good web presence. All right. The next thing is content marketing. If you are on the on the web, whatever, you don't want to constantly be, trying to hawk your product. Come in and buy my cupcakes, and you want to have some content that's interesting about the general type of business. It might be, what makes a good cookie dough, or what are some good tips for servicing your car? Why is it important to get your car washed regularly, and all that stuff? You want some stuff out there that is credible and informative that people will come back to get, and from there they'll start to patronize your business. And that this can be articles on LinkedIn, it can be on Facebook, it can be on a blog, as long as they can get to it. And it could also be videos, how to do stuff, how you do stuff. That's if it's particularly difficult. We've talked about the making croissants and high-end cookies and cakes and all that stuff. Yeah, so you have a video on how that's done, and how it'll show how talented you are, how much expertise you have, and it'll probably also show people how they really don't want to fool around with it, because it's tough to do. And it could also be a video on how to use your product, or how to. Let's say you have a store that provides sewing materials, or quilting materials, that kind of stuff. You could have videos about how to use them to build your credibility. You got to have search engine optimization, all right? And there's all sorts of ways to find out about that. It's really a key. It's keyword driven, so you ought to do some research on that. There's all sorts of ways you can do it. Yeah, I know, Karen. Did you hear my answer? I saw you dropped off. Okay, my answer to Karen was, yeah, there's absolutely a relationship to the perception of credibility and marketing. We're talking about content marketing, putting good, reliable, high quality information out there, building your reputation and stuff, really adds to your marketing. And part of that is having a good website, it looks good, professionally done, that kind of stuff. All right, now, search engine optimization, as I said, there's all sorts of ways to do that. A bunch of those places I mentioned, Wix.com, Squarespace, have the ability to help you do that. And as Ken says, keywords, your geographic location, getting your industry and that kind of stuff. Yeah, and then, you ought to do some research. You want to make sure that you pop up at or near the top for your type of business in your area. Okay, or the area that you want to serve if you're, online. Conversion optimization. You want to make sure that people can, see your listing and very quickly go to your website or your Facebook page or whatever and purchase. I mean, obviously you want them to know more about you, and the idea is that they'll get an appointment or whatever, or purchase stuff from you. Social media marketing, as I said, you got to be on there. It is not a get-rich-quick scheme, but it really works, and you ought to be out there doing it. As we've talked before, I think obviously a website, then Facebook, YouTube probably, and Twitter are the ones you ought to really go after. More businesses are doing Instagram, but I like Twitter. So I would do that. Email marketing is a big deal. And I would use somebody like Constant Contact or MailChimp, or there's a bunch of those. And those website things I mentioned, they also have the ability to help you do that. The trick is you got to get somebody's email address. And to do that, a very good way is to have them enter, like on your Facebook page or on your website, have a form that they can enter to win something. And obviously, they got to put their email in there so you can notify them. Now you got their email address. You've got to use a service, in my opinion, because the law says people have to opt out. Or they have to have the ability to opt out and unsubscribe. And if you don't do that, you can pay a bunch of big penalties. And MailChimp and Constant Contact have the ability to do that, and they can document that it's available, that kind of stuff. Yeah. Studies got no hits. Yeah, because people didn't realize studies were, or clinical trials. So you got to play with the key words a little bit. Yeah, Ken, I suppose there's probably email lists out there now. And depending on what's in them and how current they are, and if you can get it by geography, then it might work. Problem is, you don't really know how many of those people on that list are interested in your product. So there might be, a bunch of wastage. But, those are the questions you have to ask when you talk to those people. All right. Here is a good... Well, yeah, Ken, if they've got it for you, that's fine. It's great. And again, you want to avoid the wastage. So it probably has, it's got to be focused on the type of business, and it's got to probably also be focused on the geography, depending on what you're doing. So, and if they can do that, that's fine. One way to learn about how to do this is on lynda.com. And I don't know if you've ever heard of that. It is actually part of LinkedIn now. LinkedIn bought them. And you can go online for a relatively inexpensive price. And I think you can do it monthly. You can get all sorts of training on all sorts of things. But for example, if you want to learn more about online marketing and training, this is a good place to get started. These are some samples of some courses. And if you just go into lynda.com and search on online marketing or internet marketing or whatever, they'll pop up with a whole bunch of things. And there are courses with a whole bunch of segments. And like it says here, learning paths. All right, they may be a bunch of different courses, and then you can go and look at individual courses within there. And it's it's reputable. It's part of LinkedIn, and they pay attention that it's not junk. But notice here, SEO, link building in depth. Link building in depth, marketing foundations, writing ed. There's all sorts of stuff. Okay, I'll take a look at it, Ken. Thanks. I haven't seen it yet. Oops. Now, let me go to the next thing. Upload a presentation, and I want to do this one. I want to do start. Okay. And, okay. 10 laws of social media marketing is something we want to talk about now. All right. First of all, the law of listening. Social media is two ways, right? So you want to make sure that you're not just pumping stuff out, but you're on there often enough, or you set it up so you get notifications when customers or potential customers contact you, and you can respond to them. You know, again, a good example is Southwest Airlines. You know, they have people constantly watching to see if people have questions and issues and stuff. So you want to do that. All right. The law of focus. When you're putting content out there, you want to focus on a kind of a smaller group of people, very highly focused content marketing rather than just trying to be shotgun. All right. You don't try to be all things to all people. You know, if you're going to be an upper end bakery, you know, focus on high end bakery techniques and comments and that kind of stuff. Law of quality. People get excited about the number of online connections, you know, that they have, number of people following and stuff. Well, you know, 1,000 good ones or 100 good ones or 500 it's better than, you know, 10,000 people who, you know, connect with you and disappear and so forth. So you really want to kind of focus on the good ones and respond to them. Patience. It takes a while to get this social media marketing stuff going. You know, it snowballs over time, but it doesn't happen overnight. But it does work. And a key is good content marketing. Yeah, I don't know what the problem is, Karen. I have, looking at my stuff, I have a good connection, so I don't think it's me. I don't know, it might be your hotspot. Yeah, the chat thing is a good idea. I really like that. You know, where you're on their website and you can chat with somebody to get help or question. I'd rather do that than get on the phone. You know, I think it's good. Yeah, I use it all the time. And you get a record of it. Plus, you know, if they're giving you instructions and stuff, then, you know, you can read it. And generally, they'll give you they'll email you a copy of it too, so you have it. Yeah, and more people like yourselves would rather use that than be on the phone. So, you know, it's really taken off. Law of compounding. This is like being patient. You know, if you publish good quality content, hey, you know, this is how you make a really good Black Forest cherry cake, or as they say in Germany, Schwarzwälder Kirschtorte. You know, with all the really good ways of doing it, people who are interested in that kind of thing will come back to see more. Or if you're in, you know, like the barbecue business, you know, here's some keys to good barbecuing. Not everybody is going to come to your barbecue restaurant every night. But if you've got good hints on there for how they can, barbecue a good hamburger or something on their own grill, they'll find your content useful, and your reputation will grow, and they'll come back to you. All right, law of influence. Okay, you want to find people online who are influencers in your market and start a conversation with them. And if they influence people to come to you, then maybe you influence people to go to them. You know, it's a little bit of reciprocity, which is coming up here. Law of value. Again, as I said, you don't want to spend all your time on the social web promoting your product. Come on, buy my cupcakes, buy me my nuclear wizard. Now, People get fed up with that. A little bit in there is okay, right? But there's pretty good content, and I would suggest you get on and look at the Facebook pages of good companies and see what they do, and the YouTube channels for good companies. It's not all about, hey, come and buy my stuff. It's about, here's how you get the best out of it. Here's some suggestions. Here's why this kind of thing is important. Whatever. It's good content. Accessibility. You need to be on there regularly so that people can respond to it, make comments, you get back to them. And yes, it takes time to do, but it's worth it. There are actually services who will do it for you, but they never know as much about your product as you do, or your service, or whatever. You need to be available to your audience. Even if they're not asking, a customer service question. Yeah, right, Jeffrey. Yeah, there are services that will do it for you, and they're probably best used to help you schedule when you're going to put new content out, so you don't have to do it. You can say, okay, I want this article to go on my Facebook page Tuesday at 9 o'clock, whatever. And, but as far as starting a conversation, these people don't want to talk to a service. They want to talk to you, and it's part of your personal branding. Law of reciprocity. You want to share your content and talk about you, and you need to share other people's content. So, maybe you're on, you're exactly, Gregory. Share to be shared. You're in a food kind of thing, and you say, hey, on your site, you say, hey, you know what? I got this contact. He does a really good job with such and such. Check this out over there. He'll do the same for you, and you start getting this web of influencing going on. Paid social media. After you've gotten in to do the social media stuff, then I think you might want to try this. And what it is it's getting advertising to pop up at the right time on social media. So like Facebook, okay? Somebody's in there looking for food trucks and your ad pops up, that kind of thing. And all of these things are very useful in terms of being able to control your spend and to focus it. You can say, I only want people in this zip code or these zip codes, and I only want my ad to appear on Friday and Saturday because I'm a bar and people don't come in during the week, whatever. Exactly, Gregory. Yeah. Google and Facebook, they know everything about you. They know everything. Okay? We'll talk a little bit more next time about some of this stuff. All right. Does anybody have any other issues? I want to go take a look at something here. So hold on a second. Your sound just came back. Can you guys hear me now? I don't know what happened. Actually, I didn't really say anything for a few minutes on there, so that's probably what happened. All right. Anybody have any questions about this material? By the way, I forgot to mention, if you Google the phrase Google Digital Marketing Course, they have a bunch of free courses out there to help you do all of this stuff. How to use AdWords, how to use SEO. It's another free resource. And you're busy, but it pays. Get your kids to do it. Okay, Claudia wanted to go back to 8, right? So you forgot. This one? Claudia, is that the one you wanted me to go back to? Well, that's number 8. Maybe it's number 8 in the first one. Hold on. This one? It might go from 7 to 9. Yeah, don't worry about that. I edited it a little bit. All right. Anybody got any other questions? It's about 9:30. All right. And next week I'll show you some more examples. What was law number 6? Let me go check here. You want to know what law number 6 was? I can't remember the numbers, so. The law of influence. Yeah, this is where you're trying to get people to converse with you who are influencers in the market. So, you'll have to figure out who that is in your particular market. All right. Any questions about this week's assignment or anything? I checked email, and I think I responded to all sorts of questions. All right. Let's see. Ken had a question about 5.3 when we talk about communication strategy. We're talking about internet communication strategy in that section. How are you going to go about doing it? Well, Jeffrey, you know where I am, how to get a hold of me and everything. So, all right. If that's the case, then I will see you all online.